Are you listening?
The PlayStation VR. 3 years ago, PlayStation blessed the world of gaming with a virtual reality headset. And since then, the console has sold relatively well. In fact, earlier this year, PlayStation announced that the PlayStation VR has officially sold 5 million units since the launch, which correlates to roughly a 5% attach rate to every PlayStation 4. And I get it, that isn't a big number, but for a product that costs $350, almost the same price as the original console, a 5% attach rate is pretty good. But with other VR companies like Oculus and HTC launching more advanced headsets, many PlayStation fans believe that, well, PlayStation is probably close to launching a PSVR 2.0. For example, the Oculus Quest launched in early 2019, and the headset featured some great advancements like no wires. The Oculus Quest requires no connections and no cameras. It also doesn't even require a computer or a console to work, so you can take your VR headset anywhere. On top of that, the Oculus and HTC VR headsets feature fantastic controllers, whereas the PlayStation VR still uses PS Move controllers, which launched in 2009 for the PlayStation 3. 11 years. Let that sink in. The PlayStation VR's most important tool runs off of 11-year-old technology. So, to say that PlayStation is working on a PSVR 2.0, well, it's really not that hard of a concept to believe. In fact, a quick look at Sony's recent patent filings would show you a ton of designs for improving PlayStation VR. For example, Sony has been hard at work designing a new motion controller, with patents showing things like analog sticks, improved triggers, and even finger tracking. That's right, PlayStation has patents that would allow developers to program the ability to lift and grab items with full dexterity. And finger tracking's pretty awesome. But you know what's even cooler with VR? Full-on motion-controlled gloves and bodysuits. Yeah, we're talking about some Ready Player One shit right there. Now, this patent was filed back in early 2019, but the patent covers technology that would provide haptic feedback into gloves and other articles of clothing, which would provide the ability to feel textures or shapes of virtual objects. The technology would also provide haptic feedback when something in-game happens to you, like being touched, shot, rubbed, punched, or possibly even constricted. Which means this scene from Ready Player One is definitely on the horizon. Now, it is easy to get lost in the potential of VR suits and finger tracking, but PlayStation has also filed patents to improve the actual technology inside of their VR headsets. In fact, a lot of the speculation surrounding the PSVR 2.0 is originated by these patents. Sony has recently filed patents for a new PSVR headset that offers wireless connectivity, 560 by 1440 resolution, 120 Hz refresh rate, 220 degree field of view, 5 hours of battery life, gyro sensors, and eye tracking technology. And those last two, gyro sensors and eye tracking technology, are extremely important for the future of virtual reality, as the biggest complaint with VR is that for some people it can become extremely nauseating. In fact, as much as I use VR, I still deal with nausea on a daily basis. And it mainly stems from things like your eyes and your brain seeing one thing, however your body isn't replicating those actions. A prime example of this is if you're in a game and you're walking too fast or it features jarring movements, your eyes and your brains assume that you're running, however your body is just standing still. And both gyro sensors and eye tracking will greatly help with this. In fact, the patented gyro sensors have the ability to detect the slightest head tilt to ensure that what you are seeing on screen correlates to exactly where your head and body are. Whereas eye tracking will allow the PSVR headset to track exactly where your line of sight is, to reduce things like miscommunication between your brain and body, as well as reducing eye strain and assisting in longer play sessions. Now, the final PlayStation patent that I was able to find might be one of the coolest things for VR, and it involves the idea of transporting you directly into your friends' video games. For example, currently, companies like the NHL, NBA, or even WWE have VR episodes where you can watch courtside or ringside and watch the entire match or sport or whatever you want to see. This PlayStation patent would allow you to take that concept and transport you into your friend's NBA 2K game or sit in the stands as they compete in a Rocket League tournament. Now that is an awesome concept. But as far as release date or price of a brand new PlayStation VR headset goes, right now the speculation has it that the new VR headset will launch at $250, significantly less than the current VR headset. And as far as launch date goes, well, it's assumed that the PSVR 2.0 may launch with or shortly after the launch of the PlayStation 5. So, best case scenario, holiday season of 2020. Worst case scenario, fall 2021. Hey, thanks again for checking out the channel. You know, this is a big week for the Nerf Report. We are turning 3 years old as a channel. That's 3 years of news, 3 years of goofing off, and 3 years of embarrassing my parents. But anyway, we've done a lot. Experience points, interviews, these shows, and I just want to say thank you so much for supporting us on this amazing journey.